Hello everybody, Jake here from FMSCOUT, and today's video is going to be a follow-up to one that we did a few days ago about potential teams you guys could manage in FM21 outside of the UK. Now we're going to be doing a similar thing here today, looking at some more interesting teams to keep giving you guys as many ideas as we can about who you could manage in FM21 so that you can have the best saves possible. Now in the last video I asked you guys to get involved down below to tell me teams who you're planning to manage in FM21, and I personally really enjoyed seeing all your guys' comments and responding to them, so I'd like to ask you today another question, and that is, who is your most successful saving football manager been with, whether it's successful in terms of winning titles and stuff like that, or whether you've just really enjoyed it. And with that being said, we're going to get into the first team and hopefully start to give you guys some more ideas. So we didn't go to Greece in the last video, but I knew after seeing your guys' comments that we had to in this one, and the most obvious choice for me in terms of interesting / fun teams to manage was Panathinaikos. This is one of the biggest teams in Greece with an absolutely huge fan base. You can see they have a 70,000 capacity stadium nearly. If you go to their overview, you can see that they've won 20 league titles, 18 Greek Cups and 3 Greek Super Cups. They're one of the giant heavyweights really of Greek football. But things haven't been so good for them recently. Their last Greek title win came in 2009. Since then they've dropped to 6th place, and then another season in 2017 they finished 11th, rising up to 8th the season after, and then in real life into 4th place. They're the fierce rivals of Olympiacos, another one of the Greek heavyweights, and their derby between the two of them is known as one of the fiercest derbies in world football. It's known as the Derby of the Eternal Enemies, which sounds very dramatic if you ask me, but it must be a good match. Their squad isn't as good as it has been before. They were under a European ban too in 2018, I think it was, the last 3 years. I think the aim of the save with Panathinaikos would be not only to dominate the Greek league, but also to challenge on a European front too and try and get a first Champions League title with them. Obviously what you guys are seeing here is FM20 as FM21 isn't out yet, but if we look at facilities and stuff, obviously this is subject to change because of that. They've still got good facilities, it won't have changed too much. Their training facilities and their youth facilities are good, as well as their academy coach, and they're a team that shouldn't be too bad to build up, especially with the fan base that you've got, but it's going to be about rejuvenating this squad. You're going to have to challenge the likes of AEK Athens, your rivals Olympiacos and PAOK, as basically the best teams in Greece right now. The Greek league is also a fun league because I think halfway through the season it breaks off so that you're only playing the best teams in Greece, like you split into a bottom half table group and a top half table group. So you'll really be testing yourself against the best. You don't just play everyone 2 times a season, it's not like that in Greece. So if any of you guys choose to manage Panathinaikos, I think you're going to have a great time with them. And now we're going to go over to Spain. We're going to be looking at our first Spanish team here. There's going to be 2 in the video, and that team is Espanyol. Now, like I did say, this is FM20 and it says that they're in La Liga Santander, which is obviously the main division in Spain. However, they have now been relegated into the 2nd division. Espanyol aren't just any Spanish team though. If we go to their overview of competitions, you can see they've won 4 Copa del Reys, which in itself would be very good. But then if you go to their other competitions, you can see that they've finished 3rd in La Liga 4 times, and notably have came runners-up in the Europa League on 2 occasions, including in 2007. So this is a team that not long ago was a major European force, never mind a 2nd division team in Spain. They've produced many great players in the past. If we go to their facilities, that's shown by their great youth facilities, superb training facilities and good academy coaching. No wonder they get so many good players coming through. I don't think it'll be that hard of a job to get them out of the 2nd division and back into Division 1. But then, as you are Barcelona's city rivals, maybe you could be their main rivals in the league too, challenging them and Real Madrid for the title, and Atletico Madrid too, of course. And then eventually pushing one further than the Europa League final and actually winning it, or maybe winning the Champions League too if you can go that far. I think it would be a good idea to use Espanyol's youth facilities, bring through a load of young players out of their academy, and build like a new rejuvenated team to challenge for the La Liga. Now this will be quite a fun one that I'm sure not many of you will have thought about doing before, and that is Shenzhen FC in China. And before I explain why, I'd just like to say a big thank you to any of you guys who came over to my channel recently. My subscriber count has gone up a load, and your guys' support really means a lot. I'll leave a link to it in the description if any of you guys want to check it out, but thank you to everyone who has done so far. Now back to Shenzhen and the reason why I've picked them. Obviously the Chinese league did come into like media interest, particularly in the last decade from 2010 to 2020, as they picked up a hell of a lot of investment. A lot of good managers went over there. A lot of star players went over there too. There were big stadiums, lots of money involved, then a few like registration rules changed and you could only have 3 international players in your team that weren't Chinese. And things started to calm down a bit there, but if you look way before all of that investment, I mean way before there was a lot of interest in it at least, Shenzhen are one of only 7 teams to win the Chinese top division, winning it all the way back in 2004. Since then things didn't go too good. They ended up getting relegated to the 2nd division, then got promoted recently, and in the most recent season, which obviously Football Manager doesn't show, They actually came 15 out of 16th in the Chinese Super League, so they didn't perform great. Now, in terms of facilities and stuff, your training facilities aren't great, your youth facilities aren't great. You're going to have to get that up, especially considering you've got to use more Chinese talent now. But with a huge stadium and actually a fair bit of history for the Chinese league, I think this proposes a really fun save if you want to go out of your comfort zone and try managing in Asia. I mean, I've never done it myself personally. It's something I may be thinking about giving a go at. It might not be the most long-term save ever because I know it doesn't hold the same appeal as like winning the European Champions League. But I think if you're looking for a fun Chinese save about maybe a team that you can kind of call them a fallen giant, I guess, then this might be one to check out, even if it's only for 2 or 3 seasons. With the aim of getting another Super League title, I think it would be really fun. This is one that I'm not expecting that many of you to jump at, but if any of you are thinking about getting involved in it, then do let me know. But I figured why not move away from Europe and try something in Asia and give you guys that option anyway. But now we're going to go back to Europe and we're going to go to Turkey. The Turkish team we're going to be looking at is Besiktas. Now, obviously this is a team that quite a lot of people are aware of. They've been involved in the Champions League, the Europa League. They're a massive Turkish club. I mean, you can see here, just looking at their recent league standings, a win in 2002, a win in 2008, 2 wins back-to-back in the 15 and 16 seasons, with a good reputation, founded a long time ago, and are one of the dominant teams in Turkey. At least that was the case for a while. You can see in recent seasons, they finished 4th, 3rd, and then in the most recent season in real life, they finished 3rd again. Now, their finances aren't the best either right now, and things are kind of taking a turn for the worse at Besiktas. So I think your job will be to try and turn that around and eventually win the Turkish league again, at which point you want to create some kind of domination over there and challenge you on European fronts too. If you look at their facilities, they're not that bad. They've got a nice sized stadium, 40,000, great training facilities. Obviously, like I say, this is all subject to change, but it shouldn't change too much. Youth facilities, it might need a bit of a boost, and if you look at their overview in competitions, they have got a long history in this Turkish division, winning 13 Super Leagues, and the reason it looks so varied is because if we go to competition history, I don't know my Turkish football very well, but it seems like this is just a different name for the Turkish league a lot of the time, and a few Turkish cups around there. I assume that's what this means, Kupa or cup here, I guess. But basically, you can see they won a hell of a lot, like so many times here they're involved as either runners-up or winners. So assuming that their poor finances are represented in the next Football Manager, I think that would be a really fun idea, just to try and like cut back on spending, work them finances back up. It's always a struggle in Football Manager to do that kind of thing. You might have to produce a few players that you're going to have to sell on for a profit to sort finances out. Then maybe once that's sorted, you can challenge for the league, get some money from being in the European competitions too. There are plenty of ways to go about it, but this is just a really fun save if you want to try a different league to the normal top 5 leagues, your Frances, your Germanys, etc. Turkey's a really fun one to get involved with. A team with a lot of history where things won't be that hard for you, but it will still be a really good fun save. A club with a big reputation, you'll be able to attract some decent players too. You can see the last few seasons have been dominated by Galatasaray and Besiktas, but obviously they have now dropped off. Galatasaray have picked up where they left off, winning more competitions. Every now and then you get a Fenerbahce win, and they're probably going to be some of the main teams. Obviously this team here, I don't want to try and pronounce it, I think it's Başakşehir or something. They've basically become one of the new big teams in Turkey. You can see here since 2014, not finishing any lower than 4th, so you'll be competing with them too. Maybe they're there to take Besiktas' place. You're going to have to try and stop that. I think it would be a really fun save idea, and if any of you guys do get involved, then let me know. And hopefully it turns out quite fun for you all. Now we're going to Russia, to a team that shared a similar fate to Besiktas in a way, winning the division. CSKA Moscow this is, I forgot to say that. They've won the division so many times, doing it back-to-back in 2005 and 6, again back-to-back in 12 and 13, and then in 2015 with their last league win. They finished 4th in the most recent season in real life. The season before that they finished 4th, and a few second place finishes as well. It's been a while since they've won the league, and there doesn't seem to be that many signs of them picking it up right now, and I think that's going to be your job taking over to take them back to the top. And if you didn't know, by the way, they've won a Europa League. This isn't a club that's never had European success. You won't be the first to do it unless you win a Champions League, and I think this proposes a really fun save idea, not just for winning the league in Russia, but to eventually challenging in the Champions League. If you have a good enough youth system here, you could bring in some good young players and produce some really big Russian superstars, like worldwide superstars, which there hasn't been for a long while. But if we do go to facilities, you can see you've already got a good enough start here with good youth facilities. You'd have to increase the academy coaching and the academy recruitment, but good training facilities, great training facilities in fact. Now this is a club with long history, like I say, and you're going to be competing against some other clubs with long histories too. It's not just you trying to get back to the big time. You've got two Moscow rivals in Spartak and Lokomotiv, and Zenit St. Petersburg as well, all winning the league within the last few years. Krasnodar as well seem to be doing quite good recently. Rubin Kazan have kind of fallen off a bit. But basically what I'm trying to say with all these teams here is it's definitely not easy. You kind of fall into a mixture of loads of other teams. You're not the only good ones here. And to create domination in Russia is going to take a lot of effort, and even more effort to win the Champions League. I mean, I think this is kind of unfair. I don't know whether this is shown in the new Football Manager or not, but in here, at the start of the save, Russia is classed as the 6th best league, but in terms of like European success, as far as I'm aware, I don't see how they're so high. I'm surprised like a Holland or a Portugal hasn't overtaken them yet, because as far as I'm aware in recent memory, I can't remember a Russian team doing like amazingly well in the European competition, which seems to be the thing that affects competition reputation. But what you can tell from that is that Russia is a nation that's underperforming in terms of European output and like international output too, I guess. You don't often see the Russian national team doing amazing. And for a nation as big as Russia, classed as the 6th best competition in terms of its reputation, I think that shows that there's work to be done here, and CSKA Moscow seems to be the place to do it. So if you're looking to move out of the normal 5 leagues and get out your comfort zone, I would suggest CSKA Moscow could be a great idea. Now for the fallen giant that I think everyone has tried at some point, and I think they're going to be as much fun in FM21 as they ever have been, it's AC Milan. This provides a bit of a more familiar, nicer challenge to some of the others, where you're going to be in a league that you probably know already, with some great players already, a great young team that's only been built on in the season, obviously isn't shown here. They've gone and signed one of the best wonder kids in Football Manager, Sandro Tonali. He is on loan, but I think there's an option to buy there from Brescia. You're probably going to want to build your team around him. You're going to have the likes of Gianluigi Donnarumma there, who if you've played Football Manager in recent years, you know that he turns out to be one of the best goalkeepers in the game. You're not going to have to do much improvements in that area. If we look at a few of their key players, you can see Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who, as far as I'm aware, he's still there at AC Milan. He's going to be a player that can like influence the rest of the squad, and if you bring any young players through, which there are a lot of in the AC Milan team, then he can really help them out in terms of mentoring. It's a really fun squad to use with a mix of good young players and some great older statesmen of the game, and it's really surprising that they haven't actually won the league for a long while. They've got a massive capacity stadium. Their last league win came in 2010. Obviously, as we all know, Juventus is the big dog in Italy right now, with Inter Milan, Napoli, Atalanta all breathing down their necks. Roma and Lazio too. It's not easy in the Serie A to win it, and it's not really that much of a surprise that they haven't won it in recent times. They switch managers often, they've plummeted down the league, they're slowly rising their way back up, and I think maybe if you guys take them over, this could be finally their time. The facilities are all there for you. You've got a massive stadium with superb training facilities, excellent youth facilities, excellent youth recruitment, excellent data analysis facilities, and good academy coaching too. If we look at their overview of competitions, I mean, you all know what they've done. 7 Champions League wins, 1 Club World Cup, 2 Cup Winners' Cup, 18 Serie A titles. The list goes on, and they haven't won anything for a long time now, and I think that is really going to be your job. To bring them right back to the top, not just winning Serie A, you should be looking for Champions League titles, and bring success to probably one of the most historical clubs ever. If you look at the past winners of Serie A, it's been dominated by one team, Juventus, and the last time anyone else won it was you guys in 2010, so I think that'll be a really fun save to do. I guess it could be a few season save if you just want to win the league. If you want to win the Champions League, it's going to take you a bit longer, but I think it will pose a great challenge, which I think a lot of people are going to do as well. So if you're one of the many people who are going to be managing AC Milan in FM21, let me know in the comments. And now we're going to go look at the final team on our list. So I did say there was going to be a second Spanish club, and I kept my word, and this one is an even more fallen giant, I guess you want to call it, and that is Deportivo. You might be looking at this and thinking, okay, it's another team in the second division of Spain who have won the league before, all the way back in 1999. But no, this goes further than that. You're a team who are now, because of what happened in real life, it says they're in La Liga 2 here, they're actually in the 3rd division of Spanish football now. But you've got a 30,000 seater stadium, you've got a 3.5-star reputation, obviously that will have dipped a little bit, and you've got the history of winning a La Liga Santander, 2 Copa del Reys, and if we look at competitions too, it was only in 2004 that this team were finishing 3rd place in the league, quite consistently too, 2nd and 3rd, always around there in this early part of the 2000s. So it's incredible how far they have fallen. I mean, this graph shows it here, it's just a negative trajectory all the way down. Your facilities are starting to wear away now, you've still got good training facilities, but I imagine this is all going to dip down a bit too in FM21. so that's going to need a bit of work. You're going to need to really rejuvenate the club as a whole. It's a club with great history. You'd be expecting to win that third division straight away and probably look at back-to-back promotions as soon as you get into the second division too. Then your job will be not only to hold your place in the first division of Spain, but it will be to compete with Barcelona again. Like I said with the Espanyol one, you want to compete at the top and then eventually go on for Champions League glory too. It would be a great thing to say that you took a team from the bottom division in Spain, at least a bottom playable one, and took them all the way to the top. I think it would be a great bit of a brag that you guys can say. It'll keep you interested for a while too, for you guys who get sick of saves quite often, because for the first few seasons it's not going to be the hardest thing in the world, I don't think, to pick up some promotions, so it will keep you engaged, and then by the time you get to the first division, hopefully you'll be so committed with it that you'll just want to push right to the very top. This is one that if you look at teams to manage lists on YouTube, no matter who it is, pretty much everyone's mentioned them, but I hadn't yet, so I figured I would here. It's one that I think a lot of people are going to manage. So Deportivo is the final team that I'm going to recommend in this video. There's probably going to be another part to it too, if you guys enjoy this one enough. Hopefully that has given you guys some ideas for FM21 saves that you could possibly do, or at least sparked your interest in starting to think about who you might manage. If you did enjoy today's video, hit the like button and subscribe to FM Scout for all the best Football Manager content, especially as we come towards FM21 now. We're going to be putting loads of videos out on the channel to help you guys out. So if you would enjoy that stuff, and I hope you stick around, I hope to see you in the next video. I've been Jake, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.